Hi everyone, I'm already here. We have a few minutes to go, so we will not start the webinar right now, but I'm glad you all take the time to take part in this webinar. And as always, we enabled the chat. In case you can't see a chat on the right side of your browser, you may have to go to the left-hand side of the browser and click on Enable Chat or something like that so that you can see the chat. The chat is kind of important because Jonathan is here with me as well. And as always in our webinars, he is in the chat and will be active in the chat and try to answer all your questions as they come up. Of course, there's a question and answer session right after we went through all the stuff in the webinar where you can ask more questions or come back to a question you already asked, and we will try to answer all your questions. Yeah, I'm happy to see so many of you here. So again, it's always interesting to know where you are all from. Let us know in the chat. It helps us to find the right time for our webinars to make it possible for all of you to attend the webinars. So if you let us know where you're from, that really helps. So it's 6 o'clock back here in Berlin, Germany. So I think it's 9 o'clock at the West Coast in the US. Sometime in the day on the East Coast. And we are ready to start, I think. Oh, South Africa and India. Oh, India, it must be night. Great to have you all. Canada. I love webinars to see all these people from around the world join together for one topic. That's cool. Scotland, great to have you. Okay, so let's start. We have a lot to cover in this webinar. It's really, a lot to do to go from social media marketing to making money in just 60 minutes. I will try to explain everything, and of course the chat and question and answer session is there for you to get even more information. So here we go. Just a short reminder, most of you, I guess, have already heard about Jonathan and me, or at least read some blog posts or even attended some webinars. The social marketers, the social M's, that's Jonathan and me, and we are brother and sister. We've been working together for a couple of years now, and it's always great to work with Jonathan. Together we are the social M's, and I'm your host for today, and I just want to shortly say a couple of words about me. I'm actually a mathematician and have worked for a couple of years as a scientific researcher at university. I have a PhD in mathematics. I worked as a management consultant for a couple of years. And then together with Jonathan, I founded a company and became an entrepreneur. And that was the moment I actually had to learn marketing in order to make our business grow. And the reason I'm telling you that is because I want you all to know that everybody can be a marketer, no matter what you studied. You can learn social media marketing. You have to be open to new things because social media networks are always changing and you have to like to learn new stuff, but everybody can be a marketer. A bit more about the background of Jonathan and me. We founded a publishing platform together in 2010, and yeah, we had to learn marketing because we really badly needed signups, content, and traffic to make this publishing platform work. And we went international in 2012 and started a content marketing and social media strategy in 2012. And at the peak, when it was really growing exponentially, we reached over 500,000 page views per month. And yeah, it was really great. And we were really sad to let it go, but success came too late, and we had to accept that we couldn't make it work. It worked as a publishing platform. It didn't work as a business for us. There is something wrong here. I'm sorry about that. This is missing the picture. I don't know what happened here. So I have to tell you what was on there. It was actually a graph of the traffic of the blog, the Social M's, which we founded or which we started in September 2014 when we were still running Explore B2B. And after 7 months of blogging, we had almost 50,000 visitors per month. And when we had to give up Explore B2B, that was February 2015, we founded a company for the Social M's and decided to turn it into really a business. And in April 2015, 2 months after deciding to go into business, we sold our first online course. And I'm telling you this because we used the methods and strategies we are going to talk about in this webinar. Sorry about the missing picture. Some of you may already know that we often talk about you need traffic, how to generate traffic, and how to generate traffic from social media. And the reason is that without traffic, this whole process is kind of broken. The process I'm going to talk about in this webinar, starting with content, growing a social audience, getting traffic from social media to your blog or website, turning this traffic into leads and nurturing these leads and turning them into customers to make money. So this is what we're going to cover in this webinar, and you see this is really going to be a lot. Yeah, I mainly told you about that. These are the points I'm going to talk about today. And I think we should just start with the first one, the importance of content. And the reason why content is so important is that you want people to listen to you. And you can only make people listen to you if you provide value, share valuable information, you can talk to people, answer their questions, you can provide fun and entertainment. That's still value, but you're providing value and then people will listen to you. And this value, most of the time, comes in the form of content. And when you're starting out, you probably don't have so much own content. When you just started a blog, you have maybe written a couple of posts. That's not really a lot of content in terms of unique content for your marketing. So what you can do to help you and still be able to start social media and social media marketing when you have not so much own content, you can use your competitors' content, influencer content from your niche, and that's curating content. So in order to grow your social accounts and share enough value on your social accounts, you can use your own content, and you can mix it up with content you find interesting and you like, and share this interesting content also with your audience. But still, even if you can use competitors or influencer content, you still need your own content, because only your own content can show your own expertise and show who you are, make you stand out from the mass. And in the end, only your own content can drive traffic to your own content. Without your own content, you won't get any traffic, because then if you're sharing other people's content, you're actually generating traffic for them. And you won't make much money if you don't have your own content. So you need content, you need your own content to make social media marketing and traffic generation really work for you and make money from it. Some of you will already know that we are also teaching social media marketing and traffic generation in online courses, and all these online courses are part of what we call the Social Media Traffic Generation Masterclass. And at this point, because I really have to rush through most of the aspects in this webinar today, and there's so much more to know, that I just want to point out what the Traffic Generation Masterclass can teach you in every one of the points I'm going to cover. And for content, it's we are going to talk or teach you in the masterclass how you can curate content without spending hours every day, how you can really do curating content in a few minutes, how you can come up with content ideas and produce content without spending too much time and money on the content creation. And we also will teach you how you can optimize your content so that you will really get more out of one piece of content. And of course, we will teach you how to effectively use your content on social media. And we are aware that time is a most important factor, because most of you, and we the same, are not social media marketers in itself. We have a business to run. You have probably something else to do, do consulting or teach classes or craft something. And your time you can spend on your social media marketing is limited. And that's why we really focus in the masterclass on helping you getting social media marketing done in short time. So now we've talked about your content, and that you need content, and that you can use curated content. Now you want an audience for your content, and this webinar is about the social media audience. And that means you have to grow a following or fans on Facebook, but you have to grow followers on your social accounts, because only then you can get awareness, get people to really see your content. Otherwise, if you don't have an audience, your content will simply pass by unnoticed. And only if you have website visitors, you can turn this audience into customers and make money from them. So you really need an audience. And it's not true that you can simply share great content on your accounts and wait for a following and audience for your social accounts magically appear. When you're starting out and you don't have any followers on your social accounts, it's really hard to find that first couple of hundred or couple of thousand followers. And just sharing great content is not going to really do the trick. You can do that forever, and it's not going to happen much on your accounts. And I'm going to tell you a few minutes methods what you can do on Twitter to get yourself, your account, and your content in front of people so that they can see that you exist and decide if they want to follow you. And it starts with retweeting other people and liking what they share, because most people on Twitter watch their notification tab and they see and notice who retweets and likes what they do. And often they take a look at the account and author bio. And if what they see is interesting to them, they will follow you. Also, it's important to join conversations, especially on Twitter. Conversations are open to you. You're not only allowed to talk to people you already know. You can start a conversation with complete strangers. I've met people on Twitter who I today really regard as friends. And just by a fun comment on something I posted or question I posted and a nice answer, and we started a conversation. So even if Twitter sometimes seems so overwhelming, you can really connect to people. So join conversations, people will see you, they will recognize you and maybe follow you. You cannot only be active on Twitter itself to make your account grow. There are a lot of things you can do outside Twitter or any other social network to make people aware that you exist and make people follow you. The first couple of 100 followers I actively grew for my Twitter account, and my account was really small. I had about 400 followers, and I gained a couple of 100 followers, so that was really great. That was one guest post I had on Jeff Buller's blog. And this post had a lot of discussion going on, and a lot of people simply followed me because they read the post and took part in the discussion on the post. So guest posting is really great. You simply have to put your Twitter handle in your guest author bio. And you can do the same for your Facebook page or your Pinterest account. Public relations, press coverage also can help, or if you are participating in conferences and are a speaker, use your speaker profile and mention your social media accounts. It really helps if you get your social accounts out there. But the most powerful method to grow a Twitter account is actually the follow-unfollow algorithm. And before you start saying, but that's spam, let me say a few things about this algorithm, because yes, it can be spam if you do it wrong, but it's not spam as an algorithm. For everything I said, retweeting, liking, or even conversations, it's always the same. Don't overdo it. Aggressive behavior on Twitter can be punished by Twitter. And if Twitter thinks you're doing something aggressive, they can lock your account, they can suspend your account, and in the worst case, they can just delete your account or ban your account. So let's see how influencers, social media influencers, grew their accounts. These are the top 3 Forbes top 50 social media power influencers from 2013. I couldn't find any newer of these lists. I took the top 3 and just take a look at how many people these accounts are following. And I cannot prove that these 3 are participating in the follow-unfollow algorithm. I don't know about these 3 if they have written blog posts or something, but just ask yourself why anyone on Twitter would be following over 500,000 people. Just ask yourself. And the truth is, on this power influencer list on Forbes, there are a couple of people who openly admit that they use follow, unfollow to grow their Twitter accounts. Jeff Bullers is just one example who has written multiple blog posts about how he grew his Twitter account to his first 100,000 followers. So there are a couple of power influencers, social media power influencers, who have written posts about that, and that's actually how Jonathan found this method for us to grow our Twitter accounts. The basic idea of this follow-unfollow algorithm is that you follow a couple of accounts on Twitter, you wait a few days, and you unfollow the ones that did not follow you back. And of course, this is really dangerous to get over enthusiastic and you follow thousands of accounts in the hope that thousands of accounts will follow you back. And you shouldn't do that, because that's what Twitter regards as aggressive. And the fewer followers you have, the fewer accounts you can follow each day. But if you really target well, if you really follow only people that like what you're doing on your account, and a lot of them follow you back and react to what you do, then you are allowed to be more enthusiastic with your following. So it's really a great method to grow Twitter account. You have to be careful. There are limits. You have to really follow the limits. But when you target the right people to follow, people will follow you back. In the social media traffic generation masterclass, we will, of course, tell you more about the different ways to grow followers in social media. We talk about the limits you have for the follow-unfollow strategy. We tell you how to target the right accounts. We tell you how to use tweets and mentions of other Twitter accounts to get more attention and more retweets on Twitter. We also show you what else you can do, some more tips on growing an audience in social media. So what I told you so far was mainly about Twitter. The truth is, Twitter is a great network to start your social media marketing because it's relevant for almost any niche. So this webinar is for everyone. So I can't talk about a niche where only travel bloggers or people with great images can really grow following. So I won't talk about starting with Pinterest. Twitter is really unique because you can grow without paying a ton of money for advertising. You can simply grow by being active and do the right actions on Twitter. But if you figured out how Twitter works, you of course can use advertising if you have some money for that to really give your growth of your audience a push. But it's actually the same for every network to grow an audience. You have to get yourself, your page, your account in front of an audience. You can use Facebook groups, but you have to be really careful what you do there because every Facebook group has different rules. But yes, there are methods on Facebook to grow an account too. You can also follow accounts on Pinterest. A lot of them will follow you back, but Facebook and Pinterest are different from Twitter because they have an algorithm in place that decides how many people and who actually sees your updates. So they are really much harder to tackle for beginners because you have to understand so much more to really get in the growth mode. So cross-promotion is really a great way to start growing in other networks when you already have an audience on Twitter. And I'm not talking about cross-posting here. I'm actually not a huge fan of cross-posting. I don't like it to get all tweets of people on Facebook, because for the simple reason, on Twitter you can tweet all day long. You will tweet a lot if you're really active on Twitter. On Facebook, I get annoyed if I get a tweet every 5 minutes from one person, and it's not a tweet simply has not the right look for a Facebook feed. So cross-posting isn't really the way to go, although in some cases it may help for certain updates. It may help to grow your account. But of course, if you have a Twitter account and your account is growing fast, then it makes sense to maybe mention your Facebook fan page in your Twitter bio. Or you can tweet that you have a new Facebook fan page once in a while. You can also take discussions from one network to the other, or make a Twitter poll and post the results in another network, or share YouTube videos on your Twitter account, or use SlideShare to on Twitter. So you can really do a lot. Just be a little careful. You don't want to look like a spammer, and you don't want to annoy people because you're tweeting on Facebook. So for cross-promotion, it's not limited to social networks. I already told you about mentioning your social accounts in your guest author bio. That's basically also cross-promotion. It's your guest post gets an audience from the blog you post on, and you try to get this audience to your Twitter account or your Facebook fan page by simply mentioning that people can follow you on Twitter and note your Twitter handle. You should also have follow buttons on your blog for your main social media networks, because you may get visitors to your blog which you don't get from your social audience. Some of them may not already be following you on social media, so it makes total sense to have follow buttons on your blog. This is just to give you an idea what you can do. You really can be really creative and have some ideas and simply try it. In the masterclass, of course, we will tell you much more about cross-promoting and give you more ideas. And we will also give you tools and talk about tools you can use. We will also talk about automation you can use and automation you shouldn't use from our perspective, just as a warning what people may think about certain automation. But in the end, automation is actually great because it can save you a lot of time. And you will learn a lot of methods for cross-promoting your social accounts in another social network. So now you've got a following on social media. Now you want to get that following back to your content, which then is traffic to your website. That's actually not so easy. But first, why would you want traffic? Because if you don't have traffic, you can have followers on social media, but they are not listening to you. They are not reading your content. They don't want to know who you are. And the effect of branding and recognition and your own fame, the effect is really, really non-existent. And if you fail to get people to your website, to your content, and show them who you are and what your knowledge is, and make them interested in you, then you will not get many leads from that, and you will not get much sales. So without traffic, you basically can't make any money from your social media following. It's not so easy. It's not enough to simply take your content and tweet about that. That's going to work. You're going to get a few clicks, but you can get more. So for traffic to your website, you need content on your website or on your blog. You need your audience, your followers on social media, and you need to know how social media networks work. And that's what mainly is behind best practices. You have to know that tweets with images get a lot more attention, a lot more clicks, a lot more retweets. You have to know that you should use 1 or 2 hashtags in your tweets. You should know that mentioning other people's accounts can result in a retweet or like for your tweet and get you more attention to a post. You should also know when are the best times to tweet, when is your audience online, and when are other people all tweeting, so your content may get lost between all the chatter that's going on social media. So you have to know a lot to really get traffic and get enough traffic and a lot of traffic out of your efforts. And an important thing about that is scheduling. It's really part of best practices, but it's so important that we mentioned it here again, because as most of us are working on other things all day long and doing social media a couple of minutes in the morning or a couple of minutes in the evening, you don't want all your social media posts to go out at that time and you're really sitting in front of Facebook. You want to get your posts out at exactly the time when you have the highest chance of a lot of people seeing it. So you want to schedule your updates. I already talked about quite a lot of these. You can really optimize your activity in social media to get more out of that. I talked about scheduling. I also talked about how to optimize your posts, adding images, or on Facebook, you have to know that images get a lot of views, but it doesn't help to post an image and then a link in the comment section to the image, because people don't click on that. You have to know that videos on Facebook get more views than other content. So there's a lot to know, and there's a lot you can actively do to get more attention to your and more traffic from your activity. One thing is in the that interaction can really help you connect to others. Engagement and engaged audience is actually the best audience you can get, and you will stay on people's minds and in their memory if they had a conversation with you. While if they just saw a tweet from you, they can easily forget you again. There's also a lot you can do apart from images. There's a lot to know about headlines actually and post texts. It's so funny actually that a handful of types of headlines really still, since I started out on social media, list posts, they are not really dying any time soon. List posts are the best running headlines ever. So you have to know all of this to get more out of your content and to get more traffic to your content. And what a lot of people forget is that you can also optimize your own website. And I see that again and again. We are building a new Twitter account for a new topic right now. And I'm always looking for new content to share there. And so I'm visiting a lot of incredibly great blogs. They have so interesting content, But I end up not sharing that content because they don't have any share buttons. And I'm sometimes really in a, I'm lacking time as well. So I think, oh, do I have to create my tweet myself? I have to copy the headline, I have to copy the link, I have to find an image to go with the tweet, and then I have to, some blogs have the headline all in block letters, so I have to really rewrite the headline, or maybe even shorten it or write a new tweet text because the headline is too long. So make sure you have share buttons on for your content on your blog. Make sure that the tweet or other social media post that the share button offers really works. You will get a ton more shares from your content. That's simple truth. So what can the masterclass tell you for your traffic generation? Well, of course, we have best practices for the major networks. Best times to tweet, to post, and how often can you tweet and post, content formats that work well in the different networks, how to use mentions of other accounts to get more shares and more clicks. Of course, we also talk a lot, show you a lot of tools which you can use to optimize your results, to create images, to schedule, to use keywords. And what we haven't talked about yet is how to monitor your results. So we are going to tell you a lot about metrics you should watch and tools you can use to monitor these metrics. We are also telling you a lot about social media marketing automation because, as I said before, we are all working all day long. So we can't simply sit there and tweet every, I don't know, half hour. That's not working when you're in the middle of a meeting or when you're working on something else. So we are going to show you how to use social media marketing automation to keep your accounts busy when you're not there. And yeah, what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So now you've got traffic on your website and you're still not making any money, but we're getting there. So how can you turn your traffic into leads? That's what this is about. And it's basically about email list aggregation. We want to get your website visitors to sign up for your newsletter. And the reason is that the highest converting traffic channel for you will always be your email list, for the simple reason that for subscribers to your emails, you can reach out to them again and again until they don't want to hear from you again. But you can really establish a point of contact again and again, while in social media, there is also a lot of chance involved. Is the person online when you're sending the post? Is Facebook deciding if they get to see the post or not? And with email, you can simply send out updates and reach out to your audience again. So what can you do to turn your traffic into subscribers? You can have a lot of sign-up forms on your website, actually. And the first step, the easiest step, is simply to add sign-up forms to your blog or website, either in the sidebar or on the top or bottom of the website. The next step then would be a lightbox. You've probably seen that, at least on the Social Amps blog, a lightbox that opens on the website either as soon as you visit the website or a couple of seconds later. The next step is that you offer something for people who give you their email address. So make it more interesting for them to give you their email address. So these are called lead magnets. You offer them free content. It has to be something special, like a great list of tips or a white paper or something. And you will get a lot more signups from if you offer something for free for the email address than if you just have a simple basic sign-up form. Another form is basically similar to lead magnets, but content upgrades are kind of offered within a post. So if I have a post about how to generate traffic, I can offer you a content upgrade to download the 14 hacks to get more traffic to your blog. Another form I've seen is storytelling. I invite you to follow me, I don't know, on my way to train for the marathon. So I will tell you all my ups and downs and my successes and failures while I go running every day. And you can follow that story, and you have to give me your email address for that. That is the storytelling sign up. So these are just ideas. I'm sure there are quite a lot more methods you can use. Once you're getting email subscribers, you really have to nurture them. Don't be afraid to send up regular updates, because what will happen if you don't send regular updates, people will forget who you are, and they will forget that they signed up for your newsletter. And if you send them some information after a couple of weeks or even months, they may just treat you as spam because they can't remember they signed up for your newsletter. So you really have to nurture them. And you want to nurture them because that's why you wanted them to sign up in the first place. So send regular updates. You can send newsletters for new blog posts, for new content you have. You can offer free stuff. You can offer some rebates just for your newsletter subscribers. Plus, you can really get to know your audience. You can ask them questions. You can really get a ton of information from them, and you should really use that. Use surveys, use interaction. Simply send out an email once in a while asking a simple question. They should tell you what you should blog about, or they should tell you what they're working on or something, and either make it a survey or just let them answer via email. You will notice that people connect to you much more if you also interact with them. So now we've got newsletter subscribers or leads. Now we want to really make money from them. And it's not that easy, actually. It's not simply sending out a newsletter telling them about your product. You may sell something, may work, but you can do better. You can, the customer journey usually takes a little effort. You have to build trust first. That's what we talked about, lead nurturing, sending out more information and showing them that you really know what you're doing. In the second step, you really want to teach your subscribers why they need your product. So just create need or create awareness for a need. And then when you offer your product, they're ready for you. They are already sitting there thinking, this is what I need. And when your offer comes in, they simply go, wow, that's what I've been waiting for. That's what you want in your email funnel. And I've got some examples for you how you can really get more out of these lead nurturing, lead sales funnels. One is you launch something, and with the launch, the trigger to make people buy right now is that you come up with some form of scarcity. It's either you offer your product only for a specific time, so that people have to buy now, because what we all do, I can totally relate to that. I'm like that. I'm thinking, well, this sounds really interesting, and I may want to buy that, but not now. I can think about that tomorrow, or next week, or next month, and then I forget about that. So you lose me. So what scarcity is about is that you get these people like me and think, well, if I don't buy right now, I can't buy it anymore. So I really have to make up my mind if I want to have your product. And that really makes a lot more people make a buying decision. And scarcity can be either the product is only on offer for the next 6 days, and after that I can't buy it anymore. Or you can offer a special price for whatever reason. For the next week, you get the product cheaper, and if you don't get the product until Saturday, the price will double. That will make a lot of people buy. You have to remind people because, especially if it's a few days, people keep forgetting about that, and you will probably make the most sales on the last day of your offer. So you really have to make sure that emails are going out on the last day. Remind people that the offer is going to end soon. The next example is a constantly running sales funnel. So you get new signups for your email list. They're new. Hopefully they already know you, but you don't know that. So you send these new signups a series of emails in which you really offer a lot of information, a lot of value to them, and build up trust. And then you don't offer your real product first, but you offer something low price. Cheap sounds cheap, but it's low price. And it has to be a great offer for a really low price. So I can't say no. I can't say no because it's so low price for what you have to offer that I will simply go, wow, I can have that for that few money. So I really have to buy that now. And once you got people to buy from you once, it's much easier to upsell them to the real product you want to sell than to get new people to buy, to be first-time buyers from you and go for the high-priced product first. So the idea is they buy a cheap product, but it's not cheap, it's really low price for a really cool offer. And then you offer them an upsell for a more expensive product and go on to offer different versions, different variants, different products after that as well. So here's something that's really, really cool. If you don't have a product yet, you can still use your audience and your newsletter list to make money from that, because you can really get information from your newsletter subscribers what they need, and then you can create a product that really satisfies this need. For example, an ebook. So it shouldn't be a product that's really expensive, and you don't want to create a product where you have to work on the product for 2 years, because then all your newsletter subscribers have changed their mind and have another need. So if you ask them what their need is, you have to come up with a solution to their need fairly fast. But the great thing about this is you can really create a product that really fits your audience. So this is kind of the other way around. You don't fit the audience to your product, but you fit the product to your audience. And you will realize that it's much easier to sell if you really have a solution for a pain point and your product really fulfills a need. So this is actually a great way to go, to create a product that your subscribers really ask you to produce. So this was really a lot of information. It's now you know why you need the traffic to make money in the end. So you have to have content. You have to build a social audience. You have to generate traffic from that social audience. You have to turn your social audience into subscribers, newsletter subscribers. You have to nurture your leads in your newsletter list, and then you can sell to them, and then you will make money. So to give you all the information you're still missing, because it's simply so much for 60 minutes. We created the Social Media Traffic Generation Masterclass. I already told you a few points what we are going to teach or what we are teaching in the masterclass. Here's what people say about it. And I really like the last sentence David wrote. I completely underestimated Twitter and how powerful it actually is. And I think he's not alone with that. I think a lot of people totally underestimate Twitter. And I'm German. In Germany, it's even worse. A lot of Germans don't get Twitter. They still believe Twitter is all about news. And that's really sad, actually, because Twitter is such a great way to start marketing, and you can get so much out of Twitter. And I really love that comment from David. So the masterclass is for you if you want to use social media to earn money and you want more web traffic through social media. And we can help you to build your social audience. We will tell you exactly what you have to do to get a social audience. But it's not for free, kind of. It's not magic. You have to invest time and effort. You don't necessarily have to invest advertising budget, because we are actually about growing a social audience without paying for it, without paying advertising money for it. So what you have to invest is time and creativeness, ideas. And this is what you will get. At the core of the Social Media Traffic Generation Masterclass is 6 courses, from Social Media Growth Basics, which is about growing an audience for social media, to monitoring. There's a course about content marketing. We have a specialized Twitter course. We have some individual networks courses. We have a lot of information about targeting. And each of these courses include 3 parts, basically. It's learning units, where we really talk about what you have to know. We have a test in each of the courses, where we check if you really understood what we told you. And you get action plans, where we really tell you step by step how to go on and what you have to do to really grow. And of course, if you buy the Social Media Traffic Generation Masterclass right now, you get all future updates. Right now, that's really interesting. More of what's inside. Yeah, there's also something about guest blogging and email marketing, and yeah. So the future updates you get, that's really interesting, because we are about to close the masterclass for new signups, because the masterclass is already, we started creating the masterclass over a year ago, and it simply needs some updates. Some of the social networks have come up with so many new features. We have to add information and new material to the courses, and we will work on that in the coming weeks and months. So the masterclass is going to close on August 3rd, and if you want to participate right now and use maybe the slow summer or your holidays or something to learn something about growing a social media audience, then you have to go to the masterclass and register within the next 7 days, because we are going to close it and we haven't decided yet when we are going to open it again. And because we are closing it, we have a special offer for you. Usually the price for the masterclass is $445. And Only this week you can get it for a special closing price of $149, and you really get 6 core courses plus additional material plus bonus courses plus all future updates plus our special advice in chats if you need it. You're all getting that for $149. So if you're interested, here's what you can do. You can click on the Go to Masterclass on the right side, or you can visit the link, the courses page on our website, and yeah, just complete the checkout process and start learning. Again, this offer will only be open for a week. It's going to close, and we haven't decided when we will open registrations for the masterclass again. And before you hop over, I have one more thing to tell you, because we don't want your money if we cannot help you. So if you sign up for the masterclass and you take a look and decide it's not for you for whatever reasons, within the first 30 days, we have a money back guarantee. We will completely refund you, no questions asked. Also, if after 6 months putting in work and investing time and you're not seeing results, and somehow for whatever reason what we are teaching, our methods don't work for you, we will refund you in total, because again, if we can't help you, we don't want your money. So you get the Social Media Traffic Generation Masterclass for a special price of $149 instead of $445. Only this week, 6 courses, additional material, future updates, and you are totally risk-free because you get 2 money-back guarantees. Whew. So, any questions? Jonathan hasn't answered it yet. So I have to find my way through the questions in the chat and see what's going on there. I couldn't follow the chat before because I was really kind of busy. The refund after 6 months is if you have invested time and did what we told you and you're not seeing any results, yes, then we will refund you. Also, the question when we will send the replay recording, I'm not sure about that. Probably within the next days, maybe even tomorrow. The duration of the masterclass, it's really up to you. You can learn at your own learning speed. It's 6 courses. So it's the idea is that you need about 6 months to get it all established. But you can learn at your own speed. So if you don't have so much time for learning everything and putting it in action, simply go slower. You should be able to see results fairly fast because these methods work. We have done everything we teach you ourselves, and we've grown 2 businesses with that, and others are doing it as well. So we are only teaching you proven methods. Any more questions? There is coaching from us if you need it. So there's you can simply ask questions in the course system. There's a forum in there, and we will be part of that. If you have any questions, yes, we will coach you and try to make things clear. Thank you for attending. It was great having you. The no. If I get you right, conducting online regular classes, it's not like you're showing up in a classroom and you're having online sessions where you have to show up at a given time. That's not. It's learning material, and you can learn at your own speed. You get all the material, and if there are questions resulting from seeing and working on what we give you, of course, we are going to try to resolve the questions and answer everything and help you through it if the material you get from us is not enough. About the targeting, I haven't seen the original question Aaron had about targeting, but success in social media is always about targeting, and especially on Twitter, you can find an audience for almost any niche, but in some cases, targeting is a little harder than in others. Yes, there is a whole course about targeting because it's so important. We have grown over 25 Twitter accounts for the publishing platform we were running for totally different topics. And it's, the targeting may vary how you have to pursue or how you can pursue, but targeting is crucial. And if you get your targeting right, the methods work for everyone. Any more questions? Seems like everything is answered. I guess Jonathan has written a lot while I was talking. Thanks for attending. It was great having you, and I hope to see you next time. I'm sure we're going to have a webinar in the near future again. And yeah, see you next time. Thanks for listening, and yeah, have a nice day.